press into it and hold it until the tension releases. The benefits of this foot massage is that the body is covered in connective tissue, which starts in the feet. So by releasing tension in your feet, you're actually releasing tension in the rest of the body. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to breathe into your feet and happy stretching.
I have none other than Ralph Lumley. He's a qualified, certified financial analyst who's currently serving as the head portfolio management at Capricorn Asset Management there. Born and raised in Windhoek, he gained national colors for Namibia playing hockey and regional colors for cricket while in school. So no, he's not just a numbers guy crunching away. No, he's also quite a sporty. And he got his first tertiary qualification in BCom in investment management. And soon after completing his studies, he started working at Capricorn Asset Management, and as the company developed, so did his roles, and they have evolved so beautifully. Ralph, welcome to 99 FM. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. You may feel free to actually remove your mask because we are social distanced nicely, so you can breathe there. How are you this morning?
Oh, no, it's a pleasure to be here. It's quite a lovely day as well.
Yeah, it is. And we're talking about it off air. Like, we hope we didn't wake you up too early. Then you did mention you were already up. Yeah. So I know that you guys also work quite odd hours.
Yeah, no, the markets don't close. So you sort of have to spend the time to get the reading in as well.
Yeah. So I know you grew up in Windhoek, but let's just get more in depth about that. Tell us a bit about yourself. How was it growing up and being raised?
Well, as childhood, I mean, I grew up in Euros here in Windhoek, and Euros Primary was my first stint at educational levels, and then got moved to St. Paul's very, very early. So I was initially very much an Afrikaans background, and then chucked into an English school at a very young age, and had to adapt from there. It was quite, for me actually, initially I thought it was quite a terrible thing at that age, and as I grew older, I grew into it and enjoyed it, and actually quite thankful that I had English education with given how the world has evolved and your studies and everything.
Yeah. And growing up, what was your biggest dream at the time?
Well, growing up, obviously, you can see in my background there, I loved my sport. So I always dreamed I would be a sports star. But as you get a bit older and you get a bit slower and you get a bit more enjoying life, shall we call it?
Yeah.
Those dreams faded, and my talent started showing with the numbers, and my education grew, and so it just evolved from there.
Yeah. Speaking of the evolution thereof, was there ever a time where you found yourself juggling multiple jobs, having a side hustle here and then doing this and doing that?
No, I've always strived to be the best at what I could do, whether it's sports or in my education or my career. So what I ended up doing as soon as I started working is I started studying again as well.
Oh, wow.
So I spent all my time basically in the books for a very long period of time. In the investment field, it's known as investing in human capital in yourself. So as my knowledge started growing, so my advancement did as well, because you gain your knowledge on the job and you advance yourself even further with the formal education. So so my after hours was spent studying in books, and eventually, I mean, I went all the way up to it's actually a double master's in private equity mergers and acquisitions as well. So it progressed quite significantly. Even now at this point, I'm not studying anything at the moment, but I'm looking for something else.
To do, yeah. I love that term that you just used right now. Investing in human
capital.
Investing in human capital. It's such a beauty. And with that in mind, you must need some form of drive. So what keeps you motivated on a daily basis?
Well, I set very clear goals for myself, whether it's a daily or longer term goal.
Yeah.
You set it. The road there could drift off. Don't beat yourself up if you drift off your target. You just need to keep it in the back of your mind, knowing that you need to at some point veer back towards what you want to achieve. So for me, I mean, in my job on the daily, I actually love it. I get to quench my thirst for knowledge every single day. It's what I do. That's why I love the reading. I love the industry. I love, and it's very rare you find a business like the asset management industry where you and your clients are so aligned. What's good for our business model is good for our clients. You know, if they do well, we do well. And it makes it much easier.
Yeah, I love that because you used loving what you do so many times, and when you pour yourself in something that you love, it really does show. I want to tap into your financial analytical mind now, because there is a recent media report that stated that over 9% of Namibians are in debt, either to cash loans or the like. So what is the risk in so many people having debt, especially with the so-called loan sharks?
Yeah, it's difficult because, you know, Namibia for a long time, there hasn't been like a formalized access to finance. The government is making it a priority, and we've seen some benefits over the last 5 years so far. But unfortunately, there is a lot of our population that desperately need money in short periods of time that has to go to what you perceive as loan sharks. The regulation is changing, which is improving it, which is helping people get out of it, you know, financial education and all kinds of programs that's involved. But the sources of why people get into the debt is actually that needs to be addressed. You know, once you're in that debt cycle or in that debt trap, there's only a couple of ways out of it. And it puts financial, mental, and all kinds of stress on your family once you're in there. So it's best to avoid it in the first place.
And now that we're already in there, Ralph, how do we manage our debt?
Well, it's going to sound repetitive because, I mean, everywhere you hear it, but it's simply budgeting and planning. That's the easiest and sort of most secure way. And if you struggle with it, then go ask someone to help you. But budgeting comes in different forms. So first off, I mean, if you budget, and you sort of have to start your budget with your savings. It's actually very easy to live within
your
less, you know, to live with less. And I find that, especially with my clients, you know, they get a pay bump on some occasions. The first thing they do is they spend more.
Yes.
You know? But the first thing on your budget should always be save, and then you start your expenditures. Then you go, okay, now I can afford milk, bread, coffee, tea, and as soon as your list is complete, then you go back and say, okay, no, I can survive on this. Let's aim to do it. And then you must follow up. You know, you go look at your own financial statements, your bank accounts, and go, yeah, I did do this. I did do this. I did do this. And then you can realize for yourself, is what I'm asking myself to budget too strict? Do I need to spend a little bit more to actually survive or do this, so that you can monitor your savings properly? And once you have those savings going, then it's less likely that you'll all of a sudden get into an emergency situation where you quickly need to loan money for something. You know what I mean? Like geyser has burst or flat family. Tire, So, and then you actually have a savings pool to pull from.
And finally, right now, what is the best way in which we can invest in Namibia?
Look, all investments do carry risk. Whether you even have a bank account, there is still a risk involved. But you have to understand. You have to understand it. You have to go do your research and pick up your knowledge. Get your education levels to that point where you feel comfortable with your investment. You need to trust your investors. That's why I find it so frustrating, these get-rich-quick schemes and too good to be trues out there. Why people go and just pump the money in. How can you trust something like that just off the bat? Go do your research and find out if it's actually around. Look if it's a regulated institution. You know, Capricorn Asset Management is a regulated institution. It's governed by laws. It's under NAMFISA. You know, there's an extreme amount of oversight and corporate governance involved, which is crucial, and people underestimate the value that does bring to your investment side of things. So go speak to a financial advisor. They'll direct you into the right direction. There's significant portals to reputable investment companies within Namibia that you can go and just have a little read about and see what's going on.
Well, so thank you so much. That's really helped us a lot. So thank you for gracing us with your expertise.
Not a problem. Like I said, it's a pleasure to be here.
And that was Ralph Lumley. He is a qualified, certified financial analyst who is currently serving as the head of portfolio management at Capricorn Asset Management.
Dear teachers, we know all the hard work you put in every day to make sure our kids get the best education possible. It's also our goal here at One Africa TV's #LearnOnOne. That's why we bring free quality supplementary lessons that are 100% Namibian, compliments of NMH's MyZone. Lessons include early childhood development programs and primary school lessons. These air on One Africa TV every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. There's so much to learn with #LearnOnOne. Invite learning in.
The Premier League is back, refreshed and revitalised and ready.
You want spicy, you're getting spicy.
He's in good shape.
Well, damn.
Harry Kane, not afraid to shoot! Top class from Harry Kane!
Storm's coming, buddy.
There's a right hand by Fury! Fury's Wilder!
This is the moment I live for. I can't breathe.
They are the bee's knees!
It's a particularly massive day.
An opening day hat-trick for Bruno Fernandes.
Just listen to the roar. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Sign up at showmax.com to get the best live sport and the best entertainment that Showmax Pro has to offer.
It's not a group assignment. It's a community project, but it's not a group assignment. And we need to make that distinction.
Yeah.
Many times we're like, I want to start a business, and you're assuming your family and your friends.
Get on board.
No, they are your clientele.
Oh.
Royal Hustlers is proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation.
Good today, better tomorrow.
And she's here, she's looking gorgeous, and she's amazing, and she's Romancia Shonga. I was asking her off air now. It's Shonga. It's like Shonga because it's two beautiful O's. She is the country manager of Vision Africa Research Services Namibia. She joined Vision Africa as a research executive, where she gets to put her statistics and research methodology course into practice, into real things of the things, and also one of tutoring statistics and research method pupils in order to bridge the gap between the textbook and the real world at local university as well. Now, she obtained her degree in sociology and industrial psychology, and right now she's currently pursuing a postgraduate degree in sociology. So Miguel is not only gorgeous, but we're geniuses in this here building. Are we not Romancia? Are we not geniuses in this here building?
She's a legend.
It is said.
So they say.
So they say. Good morning, my darling. How are you?
I am awesome. Thank you very much.
We're very, very, very happy to actually have you live in studio now that the streets
are open.
Oh, yeah. Yes. But let's dive a little bit way back, even before the whole COVID situation, back to when you were younger, where you grew up. Just a little bit about you.
All right, so a few decades ago, I'm kidding. I was born and raised in Walvis Bay, did my primary school there, and then went to Swakopmund, did high school in Swakopmund, and then, moved to Windhoek for varsity, took a gap year in between. It was very interesting.
Yeah?
Very interesting. But anyway. Yeah, man. And then did my postgrad. Actually done now, graduating sometime next month, I think. So yeah, man, good times.
What was the decision that made you have a gap year? Because it's not the norm. And when you tell black parents, this thing of going straight to university, no, it's actually not for me. So I'm gonna just see. How did that go?
In all honesty, when I left high school, I actually wanted to join the military.
Really?
Yes. Funny story. I was about going on the international trips to study abroad, and I was like, you know what? Instead of, stressing about, funding school and cost of living and whatnot.
Yeah.
Go to the military, get an education through the military,
Okay.
get into medicine, whatever. Just use your hands, change lives, that type of thing. So that was the plan. And then I got a scholarship with the Petro Fund.
Okay.
Which their mother did not believe, guys. Next thing I know, it's April. I'm still in Walfish Bay with my old folks.
Okay.
It was rough.
Was it?
It was hectic. Correct. But the character was built, and I think because I stayed at home, I already knew what I wanted, and applied for my degree at UNAM, and I was like, okay, I'm going to school to pass. That's it. We get our masters, we get out, we start practicing, and we're done. So that's technically how the gap year happened.
So wait, how did you then pivot from the army to I'm a sociologist, I'm going to research, methodology things. How did that happen?
So what had happened?
What had happened was, because the story gets, the plot thickens,
my
Miguel.
friend, this plot is thicker than.
Yeah.
So I applied to do psychology, and I wanted to do clinical. Yeah, I wanted to be a clinician, as they say. But I realized I actually love people. I love group dynamics. I love helping people. I didn't like group assignments. Make no mistake. There's a big difference.
Yeah, no.
And I just enjoyed helping people in the corporate space, understanding people, understanding where people come from, and sort of helping them be better versions of themselves in the corporate space. And I realized it's something I already do because I'm always looking out for scholarships and job opportunities in general for other people. So it was just like, it makes sense. Let's do it. Okay. And then halfway through my course in second year, they start asking you, what is it that you want to major in? Because then you need to start, your minors start falling away.
Yeah.
And I was like, I actually kind of like solving problems. And that's where the sociology comes in, because sociology is really the study of society.
Yes.
It's again, group dynamics, right?
I almost
Understanding
said,
the issues
in
in society, addressing the issues and finding solutions that can work at all three levels, government, local authority, and then society itself, because sociology looks at, families as the unit of society.
Yes.
And so if we have a breakdown in
the family unit, then
it trickles into the rest of society. So it was all of those small problems.
Miguel, I'm so sorry. No, because it's so much to unravel the mindset of society, because we always complaining about it. Societal norms dictate, and I can't and I can't, and so it sounds like it's such it's beautiful that you're the solving problem part.
Yes.
But then the prior to now, you're like, oh, this is why these people are like this. So if you're looking at in the Namibian context. And not to diagnose Namibia.
Of course. Hey, it's a conundrum, but okay.
What has been some of the joys in learning the intricacies of why we are how we are as Namibians?
I think I understand people and people groups better because it's not so much about understanding the psyche of people in as much as you understand what triggers the behavior. I think going abroad really opened my eyes to how different we can be from other countries.
Okay.
And also how similar we are to other countries.
Okay.
But then also understanding, because I feel like when I left to do my postgrad, I got to really understand why Namibia is the way it is, and how some issues really do trickle from our colonial past, and it's the shortcomings in that area, because it's such a multifaceted conundrum. Honestly, it's really, if I get into it, we'll talk all day.
Yeah. On that note, we're going to take a little bit of a pause and a breather. We're going to listen to a little bit of Lioness, and we shall be right back.
Have you ever wanted to contact 99FM? Well, guess what? 99FM appsters can message us directly in the studio, send shout-outs, or ask questions, and we will respond directly to you. You can also send us voice notes and videos that you'd like us to play live on the air, and view exclusive offers and competitions only available to 99FM appsters. So, what are you waiting for? Become a 99FM appster right now by downloading the app, which is available on Android and the iOS App Store. 99FM, your inspiration station.
Lioness saying with you, we're still chit-chatting with Romancia, and where we ended things off is where she was telling us the most amazing part of her career right now, and what she really does enjoy and what she found fulfilling. And my next question then would be for you, my darling, what has been like the biggest lesson that you've learned at the start of your career that you still live by today? Because you did mention that it's when you went abroad and came back that you saw why we are the way that we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
The biggest lesson, I think, is consistency.
Wow.
Being persistent, because the things you love will cost you. And the question is, are you willing to pay the price? It'll steal. Because the thing is, remember, whatever it is you're passionate about is not a group, it's not a group assignment. It's a community project, but it's not a group assignment. And we need to make that distinction.
Yeah.
Many times we're like, I want to start a business, and you're assuming your family and your friends.
Get on board.
No, they are your clientele.
Oh.
It's not. Support me. Why? You know, and then people take it as an insult. Your dreams, your goals, your passions, they're a community. It's a collective effort, but it's not a group assignment. No one is obligated to partner with you. No one is. You're not entitled to people's support. You need to actually. People need to see the value of what it is, that you bring to the table. People need to, but this they'll only see if you actually put in the time. You need to invest in what it is you're passionate about, because when things get rough, it's really your why. It's your passion. It is your love for what it is you do that carries you through, and that revelation only comes from putting in the time. Because when you're struggling with what it is you love, when you're struggling to grow, to harness, when you're putting in that time, sacrificing, quality time you could have spent doing any other thing to commit to this one thing, you start understanding why it is you do it.
Yeah.
And no one can take that away from you.
Not even
if they replicate it.
It cannot be taken away.
Yeah.
Now, what you do takes a lot of grit, honestly. How do you manage to A, stay sane, B, stay on top of the game? Because it is stressful learning about other people's stressors, because you tend to absorb that and also take that in, learning about society and the hardships that we go through, and in order to solve that, it can weigh much heavily on an individual.
The beauty of research is really that you're doing it for a purpose, and you work towards achieving, or at least finding answers, right? Because it's not every project, for example, that will have you answer whatever objectives they have. Some projects are exploratory, and you end up finding other things out, right? So it's not always doom and gloom.
Okay.
Right?
Thank goodness, girl. Because I was worried about you there for a minute.
No, don't worry.
Yeah.
The beauty, the thing that keeps me sane is doing all the other things I love. I journal, I write a blog, I sing. So doing all the other things you love keeps you centered. Spending time with the people you love keeps you centered. Reading the Bible keeps me centered. Writing keeps me centered. So I think, it's one thing to do something that you enjoy 8 to 5. It's something completely different to do what you love 24 hours of the day. So,
that's how you do it. And finally, before I let you go, of course, we have to give some wisdom to the young ones. What do you want to say to the young people and to the nation? That kind of a question. That's why you're a royal hustler. So dig in deep for this one. What do you think are the biggest challenges facing young Namibian professionals? And honestly, how can we better navigate? Because challenges will always be here,
Especially for us young professionals, be respectful. It's very important. You may not agree with someone with what people say, but you are responsible for the way you respond to the different stimuli in the world.
Yeah.
Be respectful. Don't burn bridges. You may not like who you're working with, but you're working with them. And in this society that we live in, Namibia is small. We're only 2.5.
It's tiny.
2.6.
Tiny.
Also, be a people of integrity. Have character. And how do I put this? err from trying to please the people around us.
Yeah.
That speaks to integrity, and it's very important.
Yeah.
As we can see, Namibia is doing very well out there, perception-wise, PR-wise. We're doing amazing sports, guys. We are doing
Killing it.
The things, sis.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to us that the world is yet to see, and they need to see that if and when we decide to collectively be a people of integrity. It shouldn't be about agendas. It should really be, what is the Namibian vision? Where does Namibia see itself? And to see each other as Namibian people, nothing else. Namibian people, there's blood flowing in our veins.
Yeah.
There is, you know, when you go out there, you're an ambassador to Namibia, or, you know, for Namibia. You are carrying our flag. Your passport is green with gold letters emblazoned on it.
Yeah.
And it's very important that that sense of identity needs to be established, but no one's going to establish it for you. You need to identify
what it is.
And
how we're moving forward with it.
Exactly.
Amansia, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for your time.
I'm going to have you again, huh?
It's always a pleasure.
No, you might just be my new co-host. Sibo and Romancia in the morning.
Right.
Hey. We can see you, but can we though? But can we? Mo is in the background going, I'm sitting right here. Are you now? Are you? That was Romancia Shanga, a country manager of Vision Africa Research Services, Namibia. Be a people of integrity. Yeah.
Fear the